This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Volcano Island. But before that, this video is brought to you by Bad Habit 99 and CBW Farms LLC. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Volcano Island map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you a bit of the description. The Volcano Island is a total fictional place lost in the middle of the ocean. These islands were discovered a very long time ago, but the former inhabitants left hastily following a strange discovery. Dun dun dun! Since then, researchers have returned to the island and stay there to establish their homes and take advantage of the resources the island could offer. The Volcano Island came back to life very quickly, and you embark on an adventure. If you start in new farm mode, you will have several animal enclosures from the start that include cows, hens, pigs, sheep, and dairy sheep. So a little note on the dairy sheep. This map does have a required mod, even though there is really no reference to that required mod other than that particular part of the description right now, dairy sheep. So this map does require the dairy sheep pack. Not that big of a deal if you're loading this map up in single player because the game will prompt you to download it. But if you are trying to play this map in a multiplayer, you will need to remember to download and activate that mod on the server. Otherwise, the server will not start and it will simply just say required mod not available. So I really wish map authors would list all required mods in the description with links. That way we can be sure to get all the proper mods needed in multiplayer gameplay. This is a trend that is sadly seems to be occurring way too often as of late. You'll find several areas on the island: an old village, an industrial area, a housing estate, several development areas, a port and observatory, mysterious places, and many more. You'll find more than a dozen personalized and unique points of sale and purchase, as well as custom productions like mayonnaise, sandwiches, and straw hats. You'll also have the option to buy custom factories: the cheese shop, chocolate factory, clothing factory, sandwich factory, and optimized oil factory. This map includes 47 fields of sizes ranging from 0.68 hectares to 9.33, 52 plots, therefore 12 of forest of different sizes, a course for all terrain vehicles, the remains of an airfield, areas to build and expand your farm, 20 personalized cartridges to collect. So this map does include collectibles from Holt Belarun, and of course, a volcano. Let's go ahead and load on in. Now we are going to use the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps. This additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. In addition, we do have the dairy sheep pack loaded. We'll say if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find that the main starting farm area is completely void of all buildings and machinery. In addition, several of the starting animal areas are not present in those play modes, and you also do not own any land. We are taking a look at this map in new farmer mode, and as such, if you do play new farmer mode, you will start out with a little bit of a farm pre-built, and you will have some machinery and plenty of animal areas already owned, ready to make use of. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. Welcome to Volcano Island. This map does include all of the standard crop types available to us in Farm Sim 22. And we take a look at the lands area. You'll see we start out by owning Farmland ID 3. This is going to include the main farm as well as the main animal areas on the map. This area is 19.2 acres in size and costs $233,000. Now, I will say that there is one other animal area pre-placed on the map, but it is not functional at this point in time. I believe it is simply coded incorrectly because it is down here. This is the sheep dairy pasture. And if we look at where it's located, we can buy Farmland ID 14, which clearly also includes some greenhouses. But the sheep area, when we get over here, it's kind of tucked in here behind these houses. and it makes it look as if it is maybe on this land that we cannot buy. Now, I have gone ahead and purchased this land, and I still can't make use of this sheep pasture. So I think it is slightly coded incorrectly. In addition to that sheep pasture, we also have another sheep pasture up here, although it is not configured for sheep milk. Then we have a pigsty, cow barn, and a chicken coop as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the farmland lease screen. Farmland lease screen is going to show us all of the buyable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields, and then ultimately how much that farmland is going to cost us. Farmland ID 1 is going to be the unbuyable land. You can see here with the farmland lease screen, we can buy it. That is kind of the only way to buy it other than using the console command to buy all farmlands. And even if we buy this farmland, we cannot make use of that sheep dairy area. So if you do want to make use of sheep milk, which you will need in order to make sheep cheese, then I highly recommend that you put down your own sheep dairy area. Let's go ahead and take a look through all of this list and cross-reference the farmlands with the fields because you'll need that information here in a little bit. Now, if we take a look at our field calculator screen, this is going to show us the actual sizes of the fields we own, as well as the fields that we buy. And then we can cross-reference the field numbers from this screen with the farmland lease screen, then get a good understanding as to the land and how much any one given field is going to cost. Let's go ahead and take a look at our precision farming soil map. This map is making use of the generic soil map, and as we can see it here applied to the fields with one exception. I could not purchase the soil map for field 47. Typically when I do these map videos, I have a console command that I run in order to expose the soil map for the entirety of the map, but that would not work on this map, so I did have to go and buy all of the land. So we have gone ahead and purchased all of the entirety of the map at this point. And as such, I then tried to go through here and buy all of the soil maps, and I was successful in doing that for everything except for field 47. Field 47 is farmland ID 25. So I do hope that I see this map get updated in order to correct whatever issue that we have with respect to the precision farming soil map coding for field 47. Taking a look at our crop counter, we do have the standard base game FS22 crop counter available on this map. And taking a look at our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game crops. In addition, some of these crops, we also have a selling point listed, so we can not only just sell our grain, but the selling point is for us to buy grain. So yeah, it's a little reverse. Buying means that they will buy from us. Selling means that they will sell it to us. And in some regard, we do have the ability to purchase grains from the selling point for most of our base game crops. In addition, we do have the ability to sell our eggs, wool, and milk, as well as our silage, hay, straw, and grass. Now, with respect to production items, we do indeed have the ability to sell most of our production items, but not all of our production items. In fact, for whatever reason, we are missing the ability to sell raisins. I would like to see this map get updated and have raisins be added because this will ultimately affect our score for the map. In addition to all of our base game items, we do have the ability to not only buy but sell lime, and we also have a stone sell point. So those wishing to play with stones enabled will be able to process their stones. This map includes custom productions for mayonnaise, as well as sandwiches and straw hats. In addition, you're going to see here in a little bit, we also have the ability to sell our sheep milk and sheep cheese. Now, if you are playing with the Platinum expansion, we do not have the ability to sell any of the Platinum expansion production items without putting down our own sell point. In addition, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, we do not have a sell point for separated manure. Take a look at our animal areas. We have 4 animal areas here. And note, these do not list the dairy sheep barn, even though, as I've already demonstrated, we have gone ahead and purchased the entirety of the map. So again, I believe something is wrong with the coding for that sheep dairy area. If you do want to do sheep milk, you will need to put down your own sheep dairy area until the map is updated. This map does have contracts enabled, but again, since we went ahead and bought all of the farm lands in order to expose the soil map, we're not seeing contracts come up. And I have also gone ahead and purchased all of the production points. We do have some custom productions on this map, and I thought I'd just go ahead and show you all of the production points. We have a cheese store, which is going to make butter, milk, and sheep cheese. We have a chocolate factory, as well as our carpentry and our grain mill. We have multiple large greenhouses. We have an oil facility to make sunflower, canola, and olive oil, as well as our sugar mill. And then we have a sandwich factory. And the sandwich factory is going to make 3 different sandwiches. And it is also going to have the ability to manufacture mayonnaise. Thank you to sunflower oils and eggs. We also have a custom clothing factory that is going to make clothing either from cotton or wool. Then we have a straw hat capability. We're going to take 10 units of straw and make 8 units of a straw hat. This map does make use of the Halt by Their Own game cartridge collectibles, so we do have those 20 collectibles as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out with the Voltra A135 high-tech small tractor. We have a Fendt 722 Vario medium tractor, and then the CH 7.70 harvester. The harvester is then paired up with the 28-foot Verifeed header, as well as the Nardi N6030 harvester header trailer. We have the MLT 737 Manitou telehandler, the 1986 pickup truck. We've got the Brantner TA 23065/2 Power Tube Plus trailer, as well as a Rudolph TDK 301 RA. We have an 8-row Capello corn header for our harvester. We have the EcoMat plow, as well as the Semgard 9500K cultivator, the HR 4040 power harrow. That is paired up then with the Venta 4030 seeder. We have the Breedall K105 lime and fertilizer spreader, as well as the PF 2.24 Plus TMR mixer. For our telehandler, we have the universal bucket, and we round it all out with a 1500 kilogram and 600 kilogram front weight. We do not have any leased items on the map, and this map does not include any custom vehicles or equipment, but we do have the dairy sheep pack enabled, and that does have a custom animal trailer that is going to be set up to not only transport regular milk, but also sheep milk. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a farm tour. We have our farmhouse right beside where we spawn in at. Of course, this is a Halt by the Room farmhouse, so we have our wardrobe trigger in the garage and our sleep trigger here at the front door. We have an easy shed where we have most of our machinery, a farm silo with our dump and fill point. Then we have a small pull-through silage bunker. Everything up here at this level of the main starting farm can indeed be sold. And as I said in the intro, if you are a farm manager or start from scratch, this area is completely void of buildings and machinery. Now the rest of our farm machinery is going to be located down here a little bit. The farm machinery is on our left, although we do not own that shed. The animal areas are all over here on our right. So we have a chicken coop, 360 chickens. Now this is a base game area, so we have our food there. We have our eggs on the side. Then we have a base game cow area. We have our slurry. We have our food and straw triggers inside of here. This is large cow barn that is set up for 80 cows. And then we have our milk trigger. We move right along to our standard sheep. So we have our wool point. We have our, oh, look here. We have our food trough. And we have our sheep buy point. 65 sheep for this facility. And we'll rent it all out for a pig area. We have our slurry point. $270 pigs. And then our food trough. And then all of this lower area with the animal pens and this easy shed, this area can also be sold. So you have 2 levels of the starting farm that you can sell in its entirety. So with respect to, can the farms be customizable? Yes, indeed. On this map, the starting farm is 100% completely customizable, should you so wish. Let's go ahead and check the build mode while we're at it. This map does have a couple custom sheds here. These are basically the base game sheds that are listed as being modded for the map. Everything else here is fairly standard. We do have an electrical charging station that is over here by the gas station. That's why that's showing up there. Under production, we do have the ability to place a custom sheep dairy, as well as a carpentry facility. And then all of the other production items that are built in here. And then we have our sandwich shop. I have to say, I really like the idea of this sandwich shop. Maybe we'll hopefully see this come as its own mod in the near future. That would be really cool. As far as selling stations, we have the sheep dairy pack for our sheep cheese and sheep milk. We have repeated these greenhouses. They are just fairly standard greenhouses though. And then under our animals for our sheep, we do have the sheep dairy pack where we can put down additional sheep areas that already have sheep milk enabled. With respect to our textures, we've got a decent listing of FS22 ground textures and then a standard assortment of grass and bushes. Now, if we take to the skies, we can get a little bit of an aerial view of the island itself, or the island chain. There's a few kind of satellite islands off in the distance. Really curious what all this mysterious circumstances are about. We've got our volcano directly north of our starting farm here. But let's go ahead and just kind of start at that point. Within the mouth of the volcano, we have our observatory. The observatory is not a sell point. It is simply a general point of interest. Moving along the western edge of the island, we do have some farmland, some forestry areas. I like how we have a variety of different field sizes here. Now, with respect to production, this map does include 11 production items. We've already kind of had a quick overview of those. But we have a cheese factory. We have chocolate production, carpentry, grain mill, 3 large greenhouses, which we can actually see down here below. We have an oil mill, sugar factory, the sandwich factory, and the clothing factory. So we have our 3 large greenhouses. And then here we have that sheep dairy pen, which, as I said, seems to be broken. So if it was working, we would have our wool trigger here. We'd have our food trough, our water trough, and then our animal buy point. But you're going to see when we come up to this, we're not getting anything. We're not getting any sort of info screen down in the lower corner. Nothing is popping up with respect to being able to buy any sheep. But if we would go and, for say, place the equivalent small sheep pen just over here, you're going to see that we will indeed have that info screen pop up. We can buy sheep and put them on in here. So, like I said, there's just something, I believe, coded wrong with this particular area. Down here at this small kind of village, we do have a couple sell points. So we've got one sell point around back here at the pizza shop. We do have a nice little sign board representing what this area will buy. We have a small garden area that, again, has a nice signboard telling you what this area will purchase. Another grain sell point here. And then this is going to be our cheese shop. Got a small forestry island over here to our right. And then a little bit of a kind of a land bridge that's somewhat underwater coming to this little sliver of an island. A little land bridge down below. I mean, just south of Field 28, we do have a buyable area that is buildable. So we can build this down here. So restricted area. No flying of drones, no personnel. This is a land bridge, so, you know, I mean, whatever. We're going to come over here to our airport, and oh my. Had a little bit of an incident, have we? Well, that's not good. It's not good. Reminds me a little bit of Lost. And a giant pit of doom. Could this be? Could this be the lost gold? Ah. What's that? What's that show? We're always trying to find gold and they never find it. Right here we have our flour mill. We have our animal dealer. Coming up to our dairy on the left. Our sandwich shop on the right here. Another dairy. Chocolate factory. This is not a BGA. This is a sell point. We have Mama Joe's a diner as a sell point. Then we have our sugar mill. Another bit of a residential area. Just down from our animal areas and the starting farm, we have our vehicle dealer. We have a sell point here at the gas station. Grocery. We have our carpentry area. Then we have another sell point as well. Further up the road, we have some sell and buy points. We have our oil mill. And we have our dock. So we have two sell points at our dock. One right there. Nice little cruise ship for a 3-hour tour. And then a sell point. Then over here on this island, we have another interesting dock. We've got our off-road driving course here. We have the little house sell point. Well, who knows what on earth we might have going on. otherwise on this mountain. Let's go ahead and make our way back over to our vehicle dealer. We'll get into our Mahindra and we'll do a little bit of driving around the various sell points just to see kind of a little different perspective on the map. So down here at our vehicle dealer, we do have our maintenance trigger around the front. Right there. So buy, sell, trade, repaint. And then off to the side, we have our dealer trigger. Let's go ahead and get that Mahindra. And then our vehicles are going to spawn here around the back. Decent sized area for our machinery to spawn in. Although I have to say, I'm not really sure how large a machinery you're really going to be bothered with on this map, because the majority of the fields are fairly small in size. So here we have the depot selling point. I do like, though, on this map that we have signage at all of the various areas showing what is accepted. We have our carpentry area, so we have our spawn point, our wood cell trigger, our wood dump trigger, and our interactive icon. We have a lime buying silo. Right here, we have our sheep areas or animal areas over here to the left. We have our grocery sell point here beside the dealer. Then we have a fuel point. If we do have electric vehicles, we also have a charging station. We have the rest of our machinery over here. Then we have a bale sell point. LaGrange. Let's go ahead and make our way up here to the dock. And let's see what we have going on. So here we have a buy and a sell point. This seems to be triggered for something larger than my Mahindra, though. So it's going to be the Silo Vulcan grains. And we have a selling point and a buying point around the back. Remember, it's backwards. So selling point is where you can buy things, and the buying point is where you're going to be able to sell things. So we're going to be able to buy at the selling point wheat, barley, oats, canola, sorghum, olives, sunflowers, soybeans, corn, and there we go. We have our oil mill, standard base game oil mill. Although I believe the description does say that this is a fast oil mill, so maybe it's going to process things a little bit quicker. Overall, we have our dump point, we have our pallet spawn point, our interactive icon is going to be on the other end of the building. We have our dock, and we have two sell points down here at the docks. This particular sell point is going to be for some of our products, as well as our stone and lime. Well, that shows methane as it accepting that product. It's a little interesting. We don't have a BGA. We don't have a way of producing methane. Then we have our other sell point here. This is going to be set up for export. So we have cakes, honey, olives, and grapes. kind of like these little island maps. They're perfect for a player that really doesn't have a lot of time to invest in the gameplay, looking for something they can jump in, do a little bit of work, and feel that they have been productive. There is a time and place for maps of all sizes, for all players, for sure. Let's make our way over to the little house sell point. And let's just dive over the land bridge here. Oh, yes, we have our route planned for all terrain vehicles. Take your time and have fun. I'll just skip that, let you all enjoy that. Let me know how you enjoy the off-road course. And we have our little house on the water side sell point. So to buy sandwiches, amongst many other things. Let's make our way around. We do have another land bridge here. We could go over to the part of the island where we have our pit of despair, as well as the airport landing strip. We have our base game flour mill, so we have our interactive icon. Around the back, we have our dump point, our pallet spawn point. Our animal dealer is coming up here. Here we have our animal dealer. Now, I suppose we could. Let's try. Let's see what happens. Although I don't think we're going to be able to buy. Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have listed the sheep dairy that is built into the map, even if we buy the animals directly from the dealer. Because remember, we put down our own sheep dairy as kind of an example. Here we have our clothing. So we have our pallet spawn point, our interactive icon, and our dump point around the back of the docks. We have our sandwich facility. So we have our dump point, our sandwich spawn point, our interactive icon, and then our menu board. Right, we got bread, mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, and eggs. Makes a sandwich. Or we have bread, butter, and cheese. Makes a sandwich. Or we have bread, lettuce, tomatoes, and cheese. Makes a sandwich. And then sunflowers and eggs are going to make mayonnaise. Kind of like that. What do y'all think of the sandwich factory? We have the bio area. So they are going to buy various liquids, seed, fertilizer, and the like. We have our chocolate factory. Our interactive icon. I like that our logos have been changed there. Our pallet spawn point. Rebranded base game dairy. And our dump point. We've got our Mama Joe's Diner. Really well done. Sell point here. Oh, back up the truck. Our sugar mill. We're a dump point around the back, no doubt. Interactive icon, pallet spawn point around the front. And there is our dump point. Now, with respect to our scoring metric, buildings where appropriate are using the new texturing technique. We are making use of FS22 buildings that are spread across all of the base game maps. Be that Elm Creek, Hope Bitherroon, or Erlengrot. I like how we have customized productions that are again making use of those base game building structures. So we are going to be giving the map a full point there with respect to buildings using the new texturing technique as well as ground textures and the like. Wonder what mysteries this map holds. Let me know down in the comments below your theories or things you know, things you found and explored. Around the back, we have our little garden sell point. Again, we have information as to what they are all going to buy. We have the pizza shop sell point around the back. Our 3 greenhouses, as we've already mentioned. Standard base game greenhouses. We will need to buy the land in order to make use of those. We have our cheese shop located right there. So we have our dump point for our milk, dairy, and sheep, our interactive icon, and then our pallet spawn point. We have a sell point located right here. We're going to be buying lots of various products that we produce. Front of our restaurant there. And then we have a kind of a farm dump station there. And guys, that is pretty much the map. So the other metric that we're going to talk about is player interactive areas being clearly marked. I do feel that we do have very clear markings as to where all of the various triggers are for all of the various products. So we're going to go ahead and give the map a full point there as well. And that's going to give this map a score of 4.75 out of 5. Very nice score for a very well done map. The only thing we really lost any sort of points on is the fact, for whatever reason, we are missing the ability to sell raisins. Not that big of a deal, for sure. Definitely not that big of a deal. But it would be nice to see that added in an update. Let me know your all's thoughts down in the comments below. Are you going to try your luck on Volcano Island? Are you maybe going to try to solve the mysteries that is Volcano Island? And are you going to go deep, deep down into the pit of despair? Maybe looking for some gold. Until next time, happy farming.